Hey, so I wanted to share with you something that I came across over the last couple of days. Um, I use Vim for all my Rails projects and text editing needs, and I guess over time, I just didn't realize that it was kind of getting slow for me, and there were some like annoying things that I was running into that was causing problems, but just never really took the time to try and figure out what the issue was. So let me show you a couple of those things. So I'm gonna open a project here and notice that it takes kind of a split second for that to load. And then I'm using Control P, took a few seconds for that to load. Quest, tickets, let's open up this file. 1, 2, 2, 3 seconds for that to open. Let me open that. Tickets controller. So yeah, I have this controller here, I have this spec here. Close this to make it a little bigger. And notice I'm going to type :W here. I'm to write to this file. I'm going to save it. And then typically, when I save a file, I'm already moving around. So I'm going to hit enter and start hitting K, 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 K. See how many times I hit K here before my buffer ever changed. So that's, those aren't 1 per second, but there's 2 or 3 seconds probably it took to save that file. Let's do it again. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1000. See, now it finally started moving. So that, in my opinion, Vim is one of the reasons I started using it. It's very raw, very powerful, and I'm also using Vim Terminal. So this isn't like some big GUI program that's has all these objects to load, and it should be just saving right off the bat. And here's one of the things that drove me nuts the worst. If I save this file, hit enter, and then I'm going to switch my cursor to the file up on top, watch what happens. Oh, didn't do it that time. Let's try again. There it goes. So I save the file, I hit the command to change to the buffer below it. Notice now how I have like these 2 status bars, and then if I go up here, watch this. So it has to like rewrite the buffer because of that change. Also have the strange stuff now that buffer is changed. And so that was just super annoying. And actually a lot of times these 2 status bars will stay there. And here's another annoying thing. I use tmux to send my spec commands over to this other split window. So if I want to run this test, I can hit leader T, and the first time you have to set up the session. You have to tell tmux where you want to write this test to. So I'm going to say I want it in this track session, and I want it in the 0 window. You can see the 2 windows here, 0 and 1, and I want it in the second pane. So actually there's pane 0 and pane 1. Alright, so I'm going to hit enter. Notice it's waiting 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it finally writes the spec over here. It runs the spec, and I get my output over here. So I'm going to run this one again, just this individual spec: 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006. Finally writes it over here. And this is just kind of ridiculous considering that my file takes half a millisecond to load, or half a second to load. The test only takes 1 second to run, but it takes 6 seconds to send it from this window to that window. And I never remember it doing that before. So, I kind of lived with this for a while and just didn't know really where to turn. I figured, hey, I got so many Vim plugins, and I use Janus for my initial Vim setup, and I just figured it's just bloated. It's causing this problem. Well, I came across a blog article the other day and was just reading about the Vim RC, and came across some things that were taking a look at speed and things like that. So I got to thinking, well, maybe there's something in my Vim RC file that's slowing this thing down. So I just opened up my Vim config file and just commented everything out. So I'm going to do that and show you what happened here. I'm going to close this session of Vim. Here's my Vim RC file. I'm going to just go all the way down, insert, and let's see. Figure out what I'm doing here. So I'm just going to add a bunch of these, and so that comments everything out. Now I'm going to go back, open up Vim, and notice it looks drastically different, but you notice how snappy that loaded up. Also going to find that same spec file, spec request tickets spec, boom, just popped right in there. Then let's see if we can run this test. See how fast it wrote. I couldn't even start counting before it wrote it over there. Let's save this file. I'm going to type W and then hit J to go down. J, 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 J. See, there's no delay. It just starts immediately going down. So that tells me there's something in my config file that's slowing Vim down. There's something that's causing it to hang up, slow down for some reason. So I took the most easy approach and just started at the top and just started uncommenting things. So I would come down here, save it, go back, open back Vim, requests. Here's the same spec. Let's save it. JJJJ comes right down. And so I'll save you all the details, but basically what I found out was that, and I should have added, I think this is here. So I'm just going to undo everything. That'll work. What I found out was there's this one thing here, and I don't even know what this does. You notice I've already added a comment here. And there's another pro tip. Whenever you add something to a config file, put a comment about like why you're adding it and what it does, because in 2 weeks from now you'll never remember. So ultimately, if I comment this out and I go back to my, let's restart this Vim session. All right, I'm gonna save. I can move my cursor initially after a save. Let's run this test. Writes immediately. So if I'm running the test, boom, it's already there. I can start editing over here while it's running. And let's see. API ticket controller. I think that's it. So let's open this. I'm going to hit save and then jump to the next window. It does it without any errors. So anyway, you know, over time you load your config files up with tricks and things you see on the internet to try to speed things up or to try to add some functionality. And at some point in time, it's possible that one of those things are going to cause your program to run slowly or not function as it's supposed to. Unfortunately, we don't have tests for a lot of our apps on our computers like Vim, so we don't have any sort of test to confirm if we've broken anything like we do in a web app. But you can regularly, I'm going to call this Floss our config files, and just check and just comment out everything, load it up, see how it's running, and see if maybe it's something different than what you expect it to be.